On exercise 5.5, I'm just going to get my head back in the game here. It says you have to make 3 adjusting entries on December 31st. Now, and all you have to do here is put them into the journal. So there's no worksheet involved here. Let me remind you that the worksheet that we're working on in this chapter is a tool to make sure everything is in order before you do your financial statements. And a worksheet is a place for you to record what your adjustments are going to be so that everything is accurate as far as you're being truthful as far as how many supplies you have left at the end of the month, how much rent you've used at the end of the month. You're being accurate as far as your money goes. All right, so the worksheet is a tool. Not everyone would use a worksheet. It's just a tool to make sure everything's lined up and straight before you can move forward. All right, but adjusting entries are not optional. You have to make adjusting entries so that, again, your supplies are accurate, your insurance is accurate, and so forth. So let's look at the adjusting entries shown here. And A is supplies used were $11,000. And in parentheses it says supplies totaling $18,000 were purchased on December 1st and debited to the supplies account. And they're maybe confusing with that information, maybe, not sure. But just to talk our way through this then, we're going to expense the $11,000 of supplies. So I'm going to skip the year is 2017 and December 31st. And our first entry is supplies expense, because your expenses are always a debit, so expenses are always on the first line. And that was for 11,000. Where did my zeros go? Are they hiding? Okay. All right, and then our credit then is for the same amount to the supplies account, because we no longer have that $11,000 worth of supplies in our supplies stock. So supplies is an asset account. I'm just going to type that in here. And assets decrease with a credit. Okay, so that $11,000 goes over here. Wow, that's dumb that those aren't showing up. I'll make them a little bit bigger. Okay. With adjusting entries, you have the heading before you start putting them in the general journal, and that heading is self-explanatory, so you do not have to go through any kind of an explanation at the end of the entry. Okay, the second one is expired insurance of $8,200 on December 1st. We have expired insurance of $8,200. On December 1st, we paid for 6 months coverage. That was $49,200. And if they didn't tell you the amount of the expired insurance, you could certainly figure that out on your own. Trying to get a calculator up here. So $49,200 divided by 6 months. What am I doing? So that's how you would get the $8,200. So that's how much has been used. So again, our debit is an expense, so that will be insurance expense. And our credit will be prepaid insurance. Okay, and the third entry is depreciation expense for equipment, and again they're just telling you what it is. They're not having you calculate it at all. So they're kind of giving you the easy route here. So we have depreciation expense. $3,800. And then our credit is accumulated depreciation. Oh, I think I spelled that wrong. I will abbreviate it like the book does. Accumulated depreciation for equipment. Same amount. Alright, so now we're finished with those adjustments. The next step then would be to post those individually in each account. So they've given you all of the names of the accounts, and I think they're all, all the ledgers are in your worksheets. And so line by line, you would go through here. So you'd start with the supplies expense account. You would put it into the debit side of the supplies expense, and then when you're finished, you come back to the general journal and you type the 121 to signify that you have posted that line. Same with the, I'm sorry, it's not 121, it is 523 because it's an expense. When you post the supplies decrease, then you come back to the general journal and you put in the post-reference number. So I look for those post-reference numbers. That tells me that you did put that number and the amount into the individual ledgers. I hope this helps you.